This is Deepak. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to cover a very interesting topic, which is like how to create a full stack application using React as a front end, Node.js as a backend, and with MySQL database. So we have. Let me take you through the database. So here we have the product master database we are going to use, and the product table. Okay, so herein we have these entries, and this is our application while running. Okay, so we have provided the search filter. Here we can filter out any data, any product we want. So this filter is basically applicable to all the columns. As we can see, let's say we have brand column and first entry is Google, so we can enter the Google text, and accordingly the data will get filtered out in table, you can see. Okay, fine. So this is about the filter. Now next thing, like we can add product, add any product, let's say PRD1, category as a cat1, and brand as a brand1. We can see the product is added successfully as a last record. If you want to check into the database, you can simply refresh this, and we can see the product is added as a last entry in a product table. If we want to delete this item, we can simply click on edit button and modify the value as we want, and we can simply click on update button, and we can see the last record is updated successfully. We can cross verify in the table as well, so the updated record is reflecting as expected. Now if we want to delete any record, we can simply click on delete button, and the data will get deleted from the table. Or if we want to cross check in table, like we can see the last entry is deleted. Likewise, we can apply add, edit, and delete buttons in order to add or edit product or delete product from the table. So all these things we are going to implement from scratch. So as we are going to implement front-end application, back-end application along with the database part, so we are going to cover this in these points in a sequence. So here, first of all, we will create the database and table for product using phpMyAdmin. Next, we will create the backend application using Node.js with Express framework. Next, we will create the CRUD functionality to store the data, product related data, into the MySQL database table. Once we have implemented the CRUD functionality, then we need to test that. So we will test that using the Postman and verify whether the data is successfully inserted or fetched from the MySQL database tables or not. Finally, we will create the React JS Frontend application, and we will integrate that React JS Frontend application with the Node.js Backend Server, and lastly we will see in our browser whether all the CRUD operations are executing as expected or not. So like we will add product or edit product, delete product, and again filter out the product to check all these functionality and controls are working fine on browser or not. So all these things we are going to cover. Let us start with creating a database and table using phpMyAdmin. Okay, so now we have already created this product master. We can start by creating one new database for our new application. Let's say we can create a new product master. Okay, we can create a table name as a product with 4 columns. Now here we can create the columns. First column is product ID, integer, and we can check this auto increment. Next is a name, type is a varchar. Next is a category, type is varchar, and for brand again type is varchar. We can simply save this, and we can see the table is created with all the 4 columns. Now next thing, we can enter the data within this one. We can either enter by using single entry, or we can enter the multiple records using the script. So we can enter the multiple records in the table using script, insert script. So this is the script, insert into product and the columns and values. We can see 18 rows inserted. We can browse and we can see that all the 18 records are appearing as expected. Now we can, okay, with this, like we have covered our first point of creating the database and table using phpMyAdmin. So here for creating the database and table, we have used the exam control pane. Within that, like MySQL is included as such, and with that, like it provides us the interface, admin interface, from where we can simply create the database and the table under that database. Okay, we are done with first part. Now what we will do, like we will create the backend server using Node.js and Express framework. Okay, so first of all, we will terminate the existing applications which are running. Okay, now here we can open it into the VS Code. So we can create one new folder with name as a React Node and MySQL. Yes, we can see the folder is appearing. Now here inside this we can create one more folder as a product server. Fine. Now we can go to the project folder. Here we can initialize it using npm init-y, and we can see the package.json is created. Next thing, we will install the required libraries using command npm install express node1 course and MySQL. Even MySQL, either MySQL or MySQL2 we can use. Basically we are going to install libraries and dependencies, all the libraries and dependencies in one go, like Express, Node1, course and MySQL, which are needed to us. So we can check all these dependencies are included as expected. Now next thing, like we will create one file with name as server.js, and we can add the packages, like we are going to use Express. Next, constant app. Next we can define one constant for calls. We can define for MySQL, and this is the MySQL 2. MySQL 2 is the latest one, so we can use that one. We can define one more constant for port as process.environment.port, or we can specify the mention the specific port like 60,000. Now we can use app.use express.json, as we are going to test it using Postman as well. App.use course. We can write the app.listen. Here we can mention port. Here we can log this. Server is running on port. You can mention the port it here. Okay, fine. Now we have added the necessary packages, and we have simply checking whether it is listening to this port or not. So what we'll do, like we can change this with server.js, and here we can add our start script as node1 and server.js. Basically, whenever we make any code changes, so those will get reflected with this node1. Okay, fine. Now we can simply start our server, check if everything goes fine. As you can see, the server is running on port 3000. Okay, with this, like we are done with our next step, like create a Node.js Backend Server using Express framework. Now next thing, we will start creating the CRUD functionality on Backend Server. Okay, so here first of all we will create one constant for creating the connection. So we can say MySQL dot create pool, and here we can mention connection limit as 10, host as localhost, user as root, password as blank. Next thing, database, new product master that we have just created, and finally we can mention the port, which is 3307. Okay, so this port we are taking from, you can simply go to examp, and here we have MySQL server. Go to config my.ini file and search for the port. You can see this port we are using, and similarly and the same port we have configured in our code. Okay, fine. Now we can see, now we can do, like we can create get the connection on the pool, get connection. Case of error, simply throw error, or console.log, we can say connected to database successfully. Finally we can release our collection. So using the pool has an advantage that we can release the connection. Okay, fine. So you can see the connected to the database successfully here with what properties we have defined, and it has connected to database without any error. Fine. Now we can start writing our actual APIs. So here we have products, request and response. Here we can define one constant as a SQL and mention select star from our product database. Next we can say pool dot query SQL, and error or result. If error, then return response.json as error, or else return response.json as a result. Fine. Now we have created our get API. Next we can create our post API. Here we can add the insert query, insert into table. We can mention the values for column names, like we have name, we have category, and we have brand. And we can say values as question mark, and we can create one constant as values, and here we can mention request.body.name, request.body.category, and request.body.brand. Fine. Here we can simply pass this input array right here, and we are done with our post method, post API. Next we can add our patch API. Patch is for update, or for update we can use the patch. Here we need to pass the product ID, and here we need to modify it for update product, and here we can say set name is equal to question mark, category is equal to question mark, brand is equal to question mark, where product ID is equal to question mark. Now we can comment this out, and here we can add this array as an input, and here we need to first take the existing ID, product ID, request from request.params.product ID. So this is our existing ID. We can pass it, because we need to pass it to where clause, this product ID to populate with. Okay, so we have name, we have passed a name, category we have passed, and brand we have passed, and product ID we have passed. So all the input params, placeholders which are required, we have passed. Fine. Now okay, so this is about the update. Now last is for delete. So for delete we can use delete method, and here again we are going to pass the product ID. We are going to use the existing product ID, and we need to modify the query as well, delete from product, and here we are going to pass simply one parameter as a product ID. Okay, so we don't need the whole array, rather we are just passing the product ID. Fine. Now we can cross check on the Postman side. So with this, like, we have implemented the CRUD functionality on backend side. Now we are going to test it using the Postman. So we can open the Postman. Okay. We can see all the records are coming as expected. We have 18 record in table. If we want to cross verify, we can see inside table we have all these records which are reflecting inside our Postman result. Okay, so this is about get. We can add the post method. and we can add one new record by using the post. We don't need the ID. Now here we can say new PRD1, new category 1, and you can say new brand 1. Simply hit it. We can see, we can check it, we can execute the get method, and we can see, yes, the new product is added successfully with post, and the ID is auto incremented by 1 as expected. We can cross check it database side. Yes, we can see the product is added successfully. We can now check for the update method. So here we can, okay, so we can take the last record and update it. So here we need to pass the ID of the product which we want to modify. Let's say we are going to append it with 222. Okay, fine. Now we can simply say submit, and we can see the record is updated as successfully. Okay, fine. We can cross check in table as well, so we can see. Okay, fine. Now last we are going to see the delete method, and here we have to again pass the ID, and you can select JSON, and here we are just passing the ID is enough. No need to pass any request body. We can see now the last record with product ID 118 is deleted successfully. We can see, and we can cross check in table. This entry is deleted 118. Yes, we can see. So all these 4 CRUD operations like get, post, update, and delete are working fine as expected. We have tested using Postman and verified the data on database tables as well. Fine. Next thing, we are going to create our React Frontend application and do the integration as the next part. Okay, fine. So this is about our server. Now we will create our Frontend application. Now here we can create our, we have created here one folder. Okay, no, so we have not created any folder as of now. So we can create our project folder using command like npm create wheat the latest, and here is our actual project name, which is a product web. So it will create the product web folder as well as the project as well. So we can select the React JavaScript. Fine, we can go to the our project folder. We can install the dependencies using npm install. Here we can check is this product web project is front-end project is created with all the default packages and folders and files as expected. Okay, fine. Now we can run using npm run our application using command npm run dev. We can see our application is running fine with default files and folders. Okay, now Now we can start creating our client side application. So here we will remove the existing content from app.js, remove unwanted variables and imports as well. Okay, next thing, like we will remove everything from the app.css, and we can go to the index.html. We can remove this icon for React JS, and here we can modify it as a React plus Node.js plus MySQL. Fine. Now we have cleared everything from our existing application so that we can make a fresh start. Now we can start adding our code here. We will first create one main container, let's say with class name as main container. Okay, here inside this we can create one header as with name as a full stack, React as Frontend, and Node.js as Backend with MySQL. Fine. Now here we can create one div with class name as search box, and we can add one header as search box. We can create one more div for our table data. We can say as a data box. Here we can say data box. Fine, we can see it is reflecting. Now we will start adding our CSS part for this one. We have main container, next we have S3 header, next we have search box, and we have data box. So here we can define our width for main container as 5 to 5 pixel. Next, margin left as 30 pixel, display as a block, and height as a fit content. Dimension border as 1 pixel solid. Fine. Now for HT we can mention font size 17 pixel, font weight as a bold, text align center. For search box and data box we can add the border. For search box we can mention height as 50 pixel, and for data box we can mention height as 300 pixel, width. Okay, so width will take by default as per the main container. So we can add margin top as 15 pixel because we want to show this different space in between search box and data box. Okay, fine. Now we can see this main container border is not needed. We can remove this and check. Yes, we can see. Now we can go to app.js. Here we can remove the headers which are not needed. Okay, now we can check. Fine. Now next thing, we will start writing our search box. Here we have one input to search. We can search value. In here we can add placeholder as search product here. Next thing, we can add one class name as input search. Next we can add one button for adding the product. We can add class name as add VPN. Fine. Now we can start adding the CSS part for this one. Width to 65 pixels somewhere. Next, height 30 pixels. Margin left 20 pixels. We can add one border radius of 5 pixels. Margin top as 10 pixels. Okay, fine. Now we can add in a similar way for our button. Now for button, you can say margin left is 160 pixel, and border 1 pixel. It's a solid. Next we can add width 75 pixel. Border radius we can add 5 pixel. Line height 10 pixel. And next, font size, let's say 15 pixel. Yes, we can see now it is adjusted to the right side. Fine. Now next thing, we will start adding our table in our data box. Okay, fine. So here we can add table, class name as table. Here we can add here table header. You can say product ID. We have we have 6 headers including action button. So first one is the product ID, next is the name, next is the category, and next is the brand, and here we have edit action button, and here we have delete action button. Fine. So we have covered it. Now next thing, like we will do, add the T body. Add tr, we can add td. Here we can add the product ID as 100. Now we can repeat this. Five and 6. So here our product name is ERT1. This is the static data we are going to prepare first. We can check. We are going to design the screen first, so that if everything is fine, then we will go with adding our actual API data into the screen. We can, here we are going to add button and button for here we have edit and class name as edit btn. Similar way we can add for delete btn, and here the name is delete. Yes, we can see exactly. Now we can add the css for table part. We can mention it as same as our main container. Border collapse as collapse, and border radius as 5 pixel. Next we can add table headers. Let's say 13 pixel font size. Font weight bold. Now next we can add outline as none, line height as 25 pixel, and border 1 pixel solid. We can see it is reflecting. Next we can, similar way we can add for td, table data. Here we can make the font size as a 10, line height as a 15. Yes, we can see. We can text align as a center. Fine. Now next thing we will add for our edit button as well as for delete button. Width 65 pixel. Next height 25 pixel. Next border add. Fine, seems good. Okay, fine, it seems good. Now what we will do, we will repeat some entries in a row so that we can check how it is looking like. Yes, fine. Add one more entry. Yes. Now next thing what we will do, like, okay, so before we do that, this border is redundant, like the table data box border is not needed it here, so we can simply remove that data box. Yes, this border is not needed. Fine, now it looks good. Now next thing what we'll do, like we need to create one pop-up. On click of add button, it should show the pop-up it here. So for that, like we can go to our app.js, and here we have our add button. Now here we can see on click it open pop-up. Now here can define one constant as open pop-up, and here first we will add one define one constant for opening the model. Is the model open? Here we can say set model open. and here we can use state as an false. Initially the value is false. Now we can set it to true whenever we open it. Okay, fine. Now okay, so we are going to open the pop-up before the table start it here. Okay, now here we can see is model open, and we define if is model open is there, then we can give the class name as add edit pop-up, as we are going to use this pop-up for add and edit purpose. Now here we can mention one span for cross button. We can say close button, and here we can mention as times 5. Now next thing, we can add one header with name as product details. So, okay, fine. Okay, so it is not clickable now, so we will add one handle here for this one. On click, handle close. We can make it false. Yes, now we can click on that. Okay, fine. Now we will add our CSS part for this pop-up and close button. Width we can mention somewhere 350 pixel, height 300 pixel. We can mention child index as a 1. We want that to be appear as front. Now border collapse as collapse. Next thing, like we can mention the border 1 pixel solid. Now this is about the add and edit pop-up. Now we can add for close button as well. We can add the float as a right, and font size we can say 25 pixel, we can check, and font weight as a bold. Fine, now we can check. Yes, we can see it is appearing. Okay, now for this header we need to add for h4. Width as 310 pixel, height as 30 pixel, margin left 10 pixel, margin top as 0 pixel. Fine, it seems good. We can add the border part as well. Border 1 pixel, solid. It seems good. Now we can add the label and input box for name, category and brand, and we will add one button to add the products, okay, inside this one. Okay, fine. Now we can go here and inside pop-up, yes, inside this we can add input, we can add one div, and this is for class name as pop-up div. Here we can add input text, it's a name, here is a name, and here we can add class name as pop-up input. We can add one label for name as well, and we can say its name. Fine, so we have added one good part. Yes. Now we can add one line break. Fine. Now we will start adding the CSS part for this as well. Margin left as a 15 pixel. Font size as a 15 pixel. Line height as a 20 pixel. Fine. Now we can add for our search, which is pop-up input or text box. Width as a 175 pixel, height as a 22 pixel, border radius as 5 pixel. Yes, seems good. Now in similar way we can repeat for, this is for name, we can repeat for category and brand as well. So here we can say it is a category, here brand, yes, fine. Next we will add one line break, and we will add one button, and we can simply say add product, and here we can give class name as add product btn. add the CSS part for this button. Width 145 pixel, height 30 pixel, border 1 pixel solid, font size 13 pixel, line height 10 pixel, and margin left is somewhere 15 pixel we can mention. Okay, fine. Yes, it seems good. Okay. We can see now this seems good now. So with this, like, we have added everything. Like, we are done with our product part, and first of all we have added the header, then the search box, and then this data box for displaying the table. Next we have created a pop-up. Fine. Now next thing, we will start adding the colors for this one. Okay, for green table, for buttons we can add background color as a green. Similarly, we can add for delete button as a red. We can go to here for add product. You can say green. Okay, so here we can see okay, here we have added green. You can save it. Again we are going to repeat this screen to add button as well. Inside pop-up we have here green, here we have green. Edit, all the edits we can apply the green. And for red, for delete button we are going to add red. Fine, we can see now we can change this header font color. So we can come to CSS part, here is our H3. Here we can set the color. Color as yes, fine. Next, for this search product, input search, we can add background color. Fine. Next, now for this header part, table header, we can add color. 149 somewhere, you can see yes, fine. Now similar way we can apply dot table tr and the child e1, so we can add the background color as to F5. Yes, fine. Now it is showing. It seems good. Now next thing, we can apply the color for this one. Now we have header h4 as a header. Here we can apply the background color for h4. And for pop-up we can define the background color as it is a bit dark. Fine. We can okay, this h4 header we can change a bit color. Fine. So with this we are done with all the applying the color palettes to our CSS and for our page headers, search box, controls, and table data headers and rows. All we have for all we have applied the colors as expected. Now with this we are done with our second last point, which is create React JS Frontend application. Now last thing, we are going to integrate our front end with our backend server. Okay, fine. Inside backend server we have written the APIs and we have tested using the Postman and verified the data is successfully inserted and fetched from the database table. Now we are going to integrate our front end application which we have just created with the Node.js Backend Server. Fine. So this is the last step. After that we can simply test our data. Okay, fine, in the browser. Now here we can define one constant for our products. This is the products array, set products, as you can say use state, and here we can define array. Fine. Now here we are not going to use the static data. Okay, rather we are going to use this products and products dot map product. Here we will return tr with key as product ID Now next thing, we can create td. Here 6, here we can mention as a name, here product dot category, here product dot brand, and here we can add one button that we have created earlier, so we are going to recreate it here. Now this is the edit button, and the class name is like edit btn, and we are going to apply the green color. Similar fashion we are going to add it. Earlier we have written it, but that is for static data. Now we have the delete button, and this is red, say delete. Fine. Table, oh sorry, so actually we should add this inside t body, but by mistake we have added it. We can copy this, control Z everything, and inside td we need to add it. Okay, so this is our header. Inside t body we need to add our code. Yes, fine. Now we can check yes. Okay, so now it is not showing anything because we have not called our get API. Now we can define one constant, get all products, so in order to call the APIs we need to install the one library, Axios library. So we will install that, and npm install Axios. Now it has installed, we can use that, import that. So we can use await axios.get, and here we can define our URL http localhost 3000 and products. Next we can define express response, and here we can set products as response.data, and we can use effect function, and here initialize it with empty array dependency, and here we can call our get all products. Now we need to run our application. So set products, and we are okay. So here we can use dot then race. Yes, we can see data is getting displayed as expected. Okay, fine. So this is about get method, get products. Now we will add for search filter functionality. So whenever we enter something here, it should get added. The data should get filtered out accordingly. So we can define one more constant as filtered up product, set filtered up product. Okay, fine. Now whenever we enter something at here, that means so we need to catch the search value. We need to here on change functionality, handle search change. We can add one constant as here we can define one constant for search value as e dot target dot value dot to lower case. Fine. Now here we can add, we have our products. So we can say constant filtered data is equal to products dot filter. Here we have product is product dot name dot to lowercase dot include search value. We can copy this and we can say or product dot category dot to lowercase includes search value, or we can repeat for brand as well, brand. Fine. Now next thing we can say set filtered products as filtered data. Fine. So whenever we enter any text here, so accordingly this table data will get filtered out. So we need to show the filtered data. So we will display here it filtered data instead of products. We can show filtered products, and in our get API again we can set our filtered data. Here we can set products as well as our response data. Now you can see it is coming. Okay, so we can check it here. Yes, it is filtering out as expected. We can see for Google, yes, fine. So this is working, our filter is working fine. So next thing we will add our post API. So we have this add product button. We can add. So we can add on click button here and handle submit. Here we can use constant handle submit. Sync. Okay, so before we do this, in order to add before we do this handle submit, we need to add one more data as a constant as product data. We can add set product data, and here can use stat as you can define name as a blank, category as a blank, and brand as a blank. Fine. Now here, now inside our pop-up, we have to catch the value for product data dot category. Similar way for name, it's name, and for brand it's brand. Fine. Now next thing, like we need to add. Okay, fine. So we can check now here. So we need to set this. So here we can say on change handle data, and this is we are going to repeat for all handle data, and here again we have handle data. Now we can add for handle data first constant here we can add set product data as here we have previous product data and e dot target dot name and e dot target dot value. Okay, so here we have set this data. Now we can handle submit. Prevent default. Here we can use await axios dot post. We can copy this URL dot then response, and here we can log this console.log this dot data. Now we can check here we have handle submit. Okay, so here we need to pass the product data bean. Now we can check. So you can see the product is added, but we need to refresh for that. So we can add. So we need to close the pop-up. So we can call on successful addition of the product. So we can call this handle close, and inside handle close we can call this get all products, so that we don't need to refresh it. Now we can check it on the screen now. So here we can show this table at top. It is, so we can go to app.css, and here say margin bottom as 300 pixel. Now we can check. Fine, it is good. It seems good now. Now what we can do, we can add one more product, CRD 22, category 22, DRD 22. Yes, we can see it is getting added without even refreshing it, and even the pop-up is getting closed as expected. Okay, fine. So we are done with our add part, add API. Now next thing like we will do is like we will do the update API. Okay, so for update API we have to add on click here and define handle update, and here we can pass the product which need to be updated. We can define the handle update function, and and here we can set product data, which is the product that we have selected, and next set is model open as a true. Now it will show the selected product into the pop-up. Okay, so see, we can see it is populating the selected product. Let's say this, yes, fine. Now this is for handle update. Now we need to update the actual record, so we are going to add into the handle submit itself on basis of if we have product data dot product ID is available, then we are going to call patch method. Patch is for update. Await Axios dot patch, and here we can repeat and here we can say add dollar product data dot product ID and actual the product data dot then can log the response data. This is about if part, and this is the else part, wherein when the product ID is not available, then it should show it should submit the data as a fresh entry. Now, so whenever we open something for add, so it is showing add product, and whenever we click on edit, it is again showing the add product, so it should be the edit product. So we will add that part as well, so we can comment here add product. So here say product data dot product ID is available, then so update product, or else so add product. Fine. Now we can check. It is showing the update product, and for add it is showing the add. Okay, product data dot product ID is there. If product ID is there, then it's update product, or else it's add product. So we need to save this. It's add product and it's update product. Fine. Now it seems good. Now we are going to check the update product now. Right now, so we have added for updation. So we will do for updation here. We can click on any product. Okay, and we can edit it as a new product, new category, and as a new brand. Yes, we can see the product is updated successfully, and our patch API update API is working fine. Okay, So now next thing, like we have not handled anything related to the error messages, so we will add that part as well. You can constant as error message, set error message, use state. Initially there is nothing, it's a blank. Now what we will do it here, in case if anything is a blank, name, category or blank, then it should display the error message instead of submit. It should not allow to submit. What we will do, we will check it here. If product data dot name, if product data dot name is not there, or product data dot category is not there, or product data dot brand is not there. So either any of the value is not there, then we are going to set the error message. Here we can define some error message as blank. Here we can set it error message as all fields are required, and here we can set error message as error message. Fine. Now we need to display it somewhere. We have this error message. So we have set it here, right? Now inside condition also we are not going to allow in case of error to submit. So we are going to add error dot message dot length is equal to 0, means there is no error, then and product ID is there, then go for patch, and else if for update again, if there is a, if error is not there, then only you can go for the post or submit it. For doing, we need to show the error message. So in case there is no error, you can close the pop-up on successful submit. So for that, if there is no error, or if there is error, it should show on the pop-up. Okay, so this is about that. Next, on close of pop-up, it should clear the error message, because next time it should not show whenever we will open that. Fine. And so open pop-up here, set product data as whenever we open any new product, we are going to add any new, open the any pop-up for adding the new product, initially the value should be blank. So all these things, validations, we have covered. Now we need to display the error message. We can find the place where exactly we can show the error message. Yes, here is our product details. Okay, after that we can show the error message. So after this, here is a some blank space available. We can check if we can add it there. If there is error message, then class name as error, and here we can show the error message. fine. We can add the CSS part as well. For error should show color as red because it's a and okay. Now and margin left 15 pixel, fine. Now we can cross check it here. We can see the error message is displaying in case of anything is blank. Now if we enter some values, proper values, yes, it is allowing us to add. We can cross check for edit as well. If we remove something, so it is showing the message all fields are required. Okay, fine. Yes, it is getting added. So it is working fine as such. So in this cross button, we should, the color we can make it as a red. Yes, fine. Now seems good. Now we are done with our update part as well, and submit part and error messages. One more API we are ready to do, like delete API. So we need to add that as well. So here is our update part. Now we can add similar way for delete. We can add handle delete. Okay, so here is our product. We can pass the product ID. So ID is enough instead of whole being. So here we have this we can say handle delete. Here we have product ID and sync. We can use the delete method at here, and we can add product ID. We don't need to add the product data, and here we need to add set products and set filter the product as the result. Start data. Now we can check. Here is our product ID. We'll simply class it at here. Fine. We can check now. Okay, so this is at the here, like we can add one constant for confirmation. Is confirmed window dot confirm. Are you sure you want to delete? If is confirmed, then only we can proceed further with the delete. Fine. We can check now on the screen browser. We can click on delete button. Yes, we can see this is the 121 product ID. You can say delete. So we can see after refreshing, we can see the 121 is deleted, but it should show without refresh. Okay, fine. What we can do, window dot location dot reload. Okay, fine. Now we can cross check it once again. can delete the 120 product ID. Yes, now it is getting deleted without refreshing the page. Okay, so far so good. Like we have seen all the CRUD operations in this video. So we have checked inside the tables as well. Okay, so we have checked inside tables as well, and as well as on Postman side. So as a recap, I will tell you what all things we have done here. Like first, we have created our database and table using my phpMyAdmin for product data for product. Next, we have created our backend server using Node.js application with Express framework. Next, we have implemented our CRUD functionality on backend side and verified whether the data is inserted successfully into the product table and fetched the data. Basically, we have done with get, post, update, and delete APIs. Next, we have tested our implemented CRUD functionality using the Postman and verified if the data is getting inserted into the MySQL database tables or not. Finally, we have created our React JS Frontend application and integrated it with our Node.js Backend. And finally, we have checked on the browser if the data is inserted into the database with all the CRUD operations or not. So we can add one more entry and ensure the data is getting added in our database part. Okay, so here we can say PRD is 77, category 77, and brand as a PRD 77. We can add product. We can see the product is added. We can cross check into the database part. Yes, we can see this product is added. We can edit it. 1 more 7. Yes, we are just verifying if it is getting added on database side. Okay, fine. Now next we can delete the entry and we can check into the database. The last entry is deleted. Okay, so everything is working as expected, and we are done with all the points which we have discussed while before we start this video. So we have covered everything as expected now. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe the same. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all.